Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming today. So this is a meeting only for the regional leads because we wanted to check with you guys about how things are going on and if you need any support, and also highlighting our measurements and how we enter data on LiveQI. So how NeoTRIPs works, we have a main central committee, and the central committee are directly involved with the regional leads. And what happens is the regional leads recruit local trainee and units consultants, and they collaborate with them for all our QIs and research projects. Your role as a regional leads is to oversee recruiting local units, signposting and distributing resources to the local leads, maintain clear communication through emails or WhatsApp group, either with the central committee and the local leads, troubleshooting local issues. So what happens is when the local leads, the local team have a problem, they should escalate to the regional lead. And if you can't sort out these issues, you escalate further to the central team. You should also encourage local participation and sustainability of our projects, especially during the change of rotations in August and September, and to oversee the timely data entry of each region. So basically, you work as a bridge between the national oversight and the local implementation, ensure our projects are impactful and sustainable. And we provide you with lots of resources. We have our online resources in our NeoTRIPs website. We have our monthly seminars. We also have NeoTRIPs Lunch and Learn sessions that alternating between research and QI topics. We also have live QI, where we uploaded driver diagram and change ideas and lots of things that can be used in any quality improvement project. So for Safe Neo, we aim to reduce unplanned extubation rate in tertiary neonatal units. And for our measures, it's been some confusion for the measures and how people should enter data. So we have one outcome measure, which is the rate of unplanned extubation per 100 ventilation days. We have three process measures, which one is percentage of intubated babies who had their ETT secured review within 24 hours of unplanned extubation, and the percentage of intubated babies that been evaluated for extubation readiness within 24 hours of unplanned extubation, and that is according to each unit protocol. We have also percentage of intubated babies who had optimal comfort pain score as per unit protocol reviewed within the 24 hours preceding unplanned extubation. We have one balancing measure, which is the percentage of re-intubation that happen within 48 hours of planned extubation. And the reason we have a balancing measure to avoid unnecessary complication from people trying to minimize unplanned extubation so the babies would stay longer on ventilator or extubated really early, requiring another intubation. So this is a balancing measure. So to try to make things clear for you, this is our data sheet, example for data sheet collections. And I put some numbers because the feedback that I got from one of the teams when I sat down with them to explain the measures, that having numbers was really helpful. So for this example, this is, for example, a unit submitting data for July. So for the number of unplanned extubation per 100 ventilation days, we change things a little bit. And the reason we've done that, because when we initially had the numerator total number of unplanned extubation, and that is divided by total number of ventilation days, the way the charts were coming up was a little bit difficult to interpret and for the unit to use to show their data appropriately. So the change that we had, that we changed the total number of ventilation days, you have to divide by 100, and then the chart will show it properly as per 100 ventilation days. For example, for this unit in July, they had 4 total unplanned extubation, and the total ventilation days per the unit per month is 250 days. So you will put on the count or numerator 4, and in the total, which is a denominator, 250 divided by 100 is 2.5, and the platform will show the unplanned excavation rate per 100 ventilation days. Okay.
All right, I'll just stop you there and ask if anyone has questions regarding this. I think it's quite important to touch before we move on to the
Yes.
next. Does anyone have any questions regarding or like queries or things that you all have encountered, any issues with local leads when entering this particular data measure?
Oh, hiya. Sorry. I've just had
No, no
I
worries.
just had a question. It's probably a very silly question. It's just how do we end up with the 250 as the total ventilation days? That's the part I wasn't clear about.
So your total number of ventilation days should be either you should have it. It's like every unit should have a total number of ventilation days. It's not available very freely. You need to ask that from one of the consultants or the unit lead, like unit lead or the matron or the nurse in charge. So they are the ones who have these numbers per month. So
Absolutely.
who is in charge of the Safe Neo project locally, those consultants should be able to access these things, if that
Sure.
makes
Thank
sense.
you. Yeah, it
Yeah?
does. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's basically the total number of ventilation days of all the babies in the unit that have been ventilated through that month. It's not for one baby or for the unplanned extubation only. No, it's the total number of ventilation days for all the babies in the unit for this period of time. Um, the second measure is the percentage of intubated babies who had their ETT securement reviewed within 24 hours. So we said we had it this month for unplanned extubation, and from this 4, when we went back to review this baby's documents, we found that only 3 of them had their ETT securement reviewed within 24 hours of unplanned extubation. This can be like different in each unit how they document that. Sometimes they document in the ward round chart, sometimes in the nursing chart. You have to figure out how each unit is documenting this data.
I just wanted to add, this is something that a lot of people have asked questions about. That how we don't have a policy for readiness for extubation. We don't have a guideline. So as long as someone has mentioned or thought about it in the ward round, from the notes, or there is any way to sort of understand that there has been, an area that this area has been touched upon, then you can mark it as a yes. And then you can promote the local leads to come up with a sort of an quality improvement project, like a PDSA cycle to improve this, if that makes sense.
Yes. And that for the measure for the extubation readiness and the comfort pain score is very direct. I think what people was confused about was also the balancing measure, the percentage of re-intubation within 48 hours following planned extubation, because people were putting in the total number of unplanned extubation rather than planned extubation. So say you have in this month 10 10 planned extubation. You collect this data either if you have like a checklist that you upload, or you collect data for your an audit running in the unit for how many planned extubation has been done. And from this uh, from this number, you see how many babies were re-intubated within 48 hours, and that is gonna be your numerator, divided by the total number of planned extubations. Do you have a problem with this point? I know sometimes it's difficult to collect data. Some localities reached out because they had difficulty in collecting these data for the planned extubations. Okay, let's move on. So I've taken some screenshots to show you how to check your region's entry in LiveQI. This is something you should do on monthly basis. So this is the main page. Most of you already have their LiveQI access sorted. Only like 2 or 3 persons only still didn't sort that out. So this is the main page, and here in red, this is the main thing that you need to look at, the measures. When you open the measures and charts, you will have every single measure in a separate bar. If we have taken example for the unplanned extubation rates per handled ventilation days, when you click that, you will have this page. You will have plan and charts. And if you open the plan, you will have a definition of what is that measurements, and a step-by-step guide on how to enter the numbers, what numbers you need to enter. And this is what it looks like for the extubation rate per 100 ventilation days. We even put an example by numbers so people doesn't get confused. Then the second thing that you need to check the charts, and when you open the chart for every measure, you will have the list of the hospitals in your region. I did blur for confidentiality, but this should be the hospital code, and below that will be the region, the name of the region, and you have to check for everyone one by one. Unfortunately, LiveQI won't allow having a combined big chart that you can check which region has in which hospital entered their data and which didn't. So you have to check it one by one. When you open one of the hospital charts, this is what the chart looks like. And here is, I don't know if you can see the mouse moving. This is March, April, May, and this is a count. This is a total that we said we're gonna divide by 100. So that's a correct number, what it should look like. Data can be entered retrospectively and can be changed after submission. That is a QR code for the LiveQI Help Center. They have a lot of information on how to check the chart, check the driver diagrams, and it's really helpful. They have videos, they have documents. So what you should do now as a regional lead, we understand that now in August and September, we have the new rotations. So you should start recruiting local leads for the new rotation across the units in your region. Send out emails to the current local lead, check if they're staying in the same hospital or moving to another region. If they're moving to another region, do they have someone in mind that they know coming and he can take over? That would be great. And if they move into another hospital that already involved with Safe New, check if they can take over at the new site. That will save us some time to try to recruit a new person. You should make sure we have an updated data sharing agreement for every new recruitment, and we've sent emails to you with an updated data sharing agreement form, and the consultant doesn't have to sign the new one, just the trainee or the new local lead. Share the resources with the new recruitments and provide ongoing support to the local leads. Make sure that you either make WhatsApp groups with your local leads, touch up with them every month to see if they have any issues, if they need any support, how is their BDSA cycles going. Monitor and verify monthly data entry for your region on live QI. So last year with the early breast milk project, I was a region, me and Rashini were the regional leads, and as a regional leads, we were responsible for entering every hospital data on live QI. But this year we tried something different. We tried to decrease the load on the regional leads by giving access to every unit. So you just have to supervise their data entry. Any questions? I'm gonna stop sharing now.